Okay, everyone, we're just going to get started here so that we're not sitting around and not winning free stuff. My name is Steven. I'm the editor-in-chief of Futurelooks.com, one of Canada's online tech magazines for computer hardware. And with me today are 4 panelists that will help you get the most out of your LANcouver experience. With me to my left here is Steve Kofed. He is one of the ACES people that you'll be seeing all weekend long. He's also very experienced in setting up LANs in the past, and he's been to a lot of them as well too, so he's going to have a lot to add to this. To the left of him is Brian Lau from NCIX.win. He's one of the teams that you'll be competing against, but he's also very experienced at these types of events. To the left of him is former senior hardware editor of Futurelooks.com, Mr. Jason Landels. He's been to LAN parties right across the country and even in the USA. And at the very end is one of the first LANcouver attendees, Mr. Dash. Some of you may know him, and he should be able to tell you a bit more about his experience with LAN parties. All right, so what we're going to do here is we are going to start with an opening question to the panel. Tell us about your first LAN party as a noob. Knowing what you know today, what would you have done differently at your first event?
I don't know. I did a lot of LAN parties. I haven't done a ton of experience going to large LAN parties, but I did a bunch of small LAN parties. I don't know if, I'm sure many of you have done it with friends, and we would do lots of get-togethers just with friends. And my first LAN party was just a disaster, and you know, everyone forgot everything, and so kind of, you know, we just brought all of our stuff together and just basically forgot all of our cables. The most important thing I really learned, and kind of what I would, you know, giving advice about going to LAN parties is whenever you're going to do it, make a checklist of what you need. You know, and that goes for whether you're setting up a LAN party or if you're going to a LAN party. Make sure you got everything you need, especially on one like LANcouver where it takes place over, you know, several days. You don't want to be out without something you really need, whether it be clothes, food, drink, money, whatever, cables. I mean, we've already had people coming over to our booth asking for cables and stuff that they've left behind. So it's really important that you always have everything you need, whether it be power cables, Ethernet cables, switches, routers, whatever you need, games downloaded. So I always recommend making a list so that you make sure you don't miss a thing.
How about you, Brian?
Let's see. The first LAN party I went to was obviously in high school, same as him. Organized it with my friends. We broke the circuit breaker. We set the 2 computers on fire. We spilled water on one of the computers. We pretty much broke everyone's things. And we brought speakers that blew up too. First major LAN party I went to was last year in Fragapalooza. I am probably newer than most of you going to major LAN parties. This is actually my second one that I'm actually going to. Also the second time that I assembled my team to, you know, compete. Yeah. Major thing, like he said, is make a list of what you want to bring. The second thing is basically when you come and go, make sure you like keep an eye on your stuff. Last year in Frag, I lost my credit card. Actually, I lost my wallet.
How about you, Jason?
Yeah, my first LAN party was also Fragapalooza in 2003. For anyone that doesn't know, that's a major LAN party in Edmonton. Back in the day, it was like 400 or 500 people. I basically drove from a small suburb outside of Edmonton to the LAN party at the other end of the city with just my computer and my monitor and cables, and that was it. I managed to find a place to crash on a couch, but that's the major thing you want to remember with any LAN party. It's more than just the computer. You're going to be occupying a space for a number of days, so make sure that you're prepared for that.
Mr. Dash.
My first LAN party was LAN party LANcouver 1, actually. And I had some difficulty getting there because I brought all my stuff on transit from the ferry terminal, which was great fun. So very important thing with LAN parties is organizing transport, both to and from the LAN parties, and making sure that you're not forgetting the pieces at home on the island, because it's never going to be fun.
What are some of the things that you should never bring to a LAN party?
I would say that one of the first things that comes to mind, don't bring anything that's going to break your heart if you lose it. Because, I mean, with so much going on, so many people, there's only so much stuff you can keep your eye on. So don't bring anything you're not really willing to lose. Something simple, small things like watch your phones, watch your tablets, watch whatever else you have, sunglasses, hats, anything. Because you never know if you might walk off.
This might sound strange, but don't bring your TV. Last year, there was someone that brought a 60-inch TV, and he smashed it.
Yeah, and just when you're bringing your equipment, make sure you're considerate of your neighbors. So don't bring speakers. Don't bring anything that's going to be a significant power draw. Because remember, you're running 100 computers that are sucking power like nuts. So if you're going to bring a set of speakers, that's going to be a disturbance to people around. It's also going to draw extra power. We've had people at Fraga that brought. Someone tried to bring in a mini fridge, like just a little beer fridge type of thing. You don't do that. Don't be that guy. Because you're going to blow a circuit. You're going to have your entire row, maybe more rows, very angry at you. So, yeah, don't.
I was just going to say speakers. The thing that pisses people off the most is if they're trying to concentrate on a game and you're blaring techno.
Yo, bro, best music, bro.
Yeah, just bring headphones. It's not smart.
Euro trash, bro.
So, any questions from the audience?
Okay, Mr. Blonde Man, you look the most professional. What do you do to mentally prepare yourself for a LAN party?
Did you say to mentally prepare myself?
Mentally prepare yourself.
Mentally
for a LAN
prepare
party.
myself. Well, for some of my earlier LAN parties, I would, whatever music really pumped me up, like on the way driving there, I would just really, for the getting ready for the LAN party, driving to the LAN party, what I was doing, pump the music up and just really get myself going. So when you get here and they got the music going, you're already set. Any energy drinks, Dr. Pepper, whatever caffeine you need, get your body ready for it. And music always helps me to get psyched and ready for a LAN party.
Yeah. What do you think ideal screen size for a LAN party would be?
It really depends on the video card you're running. Do you mean actual inches or resolutions?
Yeah.
You stop at 24-inch panel. 27, 30 starts to encroach on your neighbors. I mean, you're looking at a table that's about this size. So, yeah, we've seen people don't be the guy that brings a 40-inch LCD panel.
For the guy in the middle, say one of your fellow LAN partiers has a hygiene issue. What do you do?
Let's leave that for the hygiene section. We do have a section on that, okay? But I'm still going to give you a prize, all right?
If somebody starts to really bog down the network, I know I went to last year's LANcouver, or it was 2 years ago, and somebody started torrenting, and nobody could get on the internet. It was terrible. So what steps do you guys take to prevent that from bogging down the network?
You yell out and intimidate them.
Yeah, I'll take this one because I'm network admin too. Okay. Basically, yeah, if you're depending on the type of equipment you're running, you can usually find out what port they're on, and then you go and humiliate them, or just disable their port, and then they eventually come over and say, "Why is my internet working?" Then you humiliate them. So, if you're in a smaller venue where you have 30, 40 guys, or even 10 or 12. Basically end up just yelling out who's torrenting, and once again, humiliation and embarrassment tends to be the best method.
Rest is very important, obviously. In order to play the game at your best, you've got to rest. But if you need or want to stay up, what are the safest ways to extend your game playing time? And are there methods for sleeping that can give you adequate rest with minimal downtime?
Don't do what I did. For last year, I stayed up 36 hours. My teammates stayed up the entire weekend. Easiest way is basically just once you finish the tournament, anything major, go back to your hotel, home, sleep, get it well rested, and get ready for the next day. Usually, you have enough of a time span to just basically get well rested for the next major tournament or whatever is going on. Most of the stuff is at night too, and then you can just sleep in the morning.
Just make sure you get some sleep every night. I've seen guys do that themselves, where they wear themselves out to the point where of literal exhaustion. So even if you can swing in a couple hours of sleep, definitely give that a shot, because it's going to do your body a lot better than not sleeping at all.
For food, what do you guys just eating at like a LAN party? That's not like that will keep you energized and yeah.
I'd say make sure that you're eating more than just junk food. Anything that has some energy. Definitely stay hydrated. That's huge. So much of when you're tired is that you're just dehydrated. If you haven't slept in 36 hours, you're gonna be pretty messed up. So stay hydrated.
I want to say eat your greens, but you won't. So just eat normally.
Have you had any experience with people taking like Ritalin and Adderall at LANs? And if so, would you suggest taking that so you can stay up the whole weekend? Would that be a good idea for me to do?
I have to take the professional thing and say we would never, ever suggest taking any type of narcotic substance to do that. Have I seen it happen before? Yes. Does it leave you reeling at the end? Yeah. So, yeah, don't push yourself. Don't push yourself beyond any limits that you're that are going to break you. To give you an example, the first LAN party I was at was Fragapalooza 2003. I hopped up on tons of Ball's energy drink. I don't know. I think I got 4 hours sleep in 4 days. I don't remember the drive home. I drove home successfully. I made it back to the subway. I got dinner. I don't remember the drive home. That could have ended very badly. So, yeah, I wouldn't recommend that stuff.
All right, we're going to move on to our next section, and we touched on a few of these things in the beginning of the panel with the opening question, which are, basically LAN party rules and etiquette. There are things that you do and things that you don't do. So, what are the worst violations that you've ever seen of LAN party etiquette? And if your fellow gamer isn't following the rules properly, is there a easy or a simple way of addressing it without pissing everyone off?
I've got one, and this may not apply to a lot of you, but I did a LAN party once that I organized up when I was in university going to school. And, it was a small, like 30, 40 people. But one of the worst things, and I wish I would have acknowledged this when setting up the LAN party, but a couple of the people brought their kids, and I didn't want to, tell them not to bring their kids. But and I have nothing. I have my own child myself already. But little kids, it's not, LAN parties are not child safe. There's cables, cords, everywhere. And he wasn't even paying attention to his kid. He was running around don't bring children.
The worst I saw was if you're gonna smack talk, just don't start a fight. There was someone that actually started a fight last year. It was during a StarCraft 2 semifinals. Some Asian guy was getting really cocky, and basically he just started going straight up racist on this white guy, and he's just like, I'm Korean, I can already win. You don't stand a chance. Basically, the white guy just got so mad. He's just like, you want to fight, buddy? And he's like, no, I'm sorry.
Really, don't blast techno at 2 o'clock in the morning. We don't want to hear it. We really don't.
Don't get drunk. Just don't get drunk. Once again, another Fragapalooza, bunch of guys, 18, they just started. And yeah, just absolutely tanked. Made a complete arse of themselves, and they had to be kicked out. And the only people I've ever seen kicked out and permanently banned from Fragapalooza because they did it multiple times. They did it one event, they did an event in Grand Prairie. So yeah, just don't be that guy. Don't get yourself incredibly drunk and then be an obnoxious jerk.
Okay, let's take a couple questions from the audience.
My question is, have you guys ever caught a cheater at a LAN, and did you throw him out and smash his computer?
It's really difficult to tell a lot of times, but generally people aren't going to cheat when people can look over their shoulder and watch them playing. So in tournaments, that's what's happening. And as far as I've ever seen, I've never seen it happen.
It's not super common in tournaments because everyone's paying attention to what you're doing, and most people know the hacks. So yeah, you're not going to see it. Do they happen in your pub game or your pugs? Probably. So. And usually that's picked up on, once again, humiliation and embarrassment.
Last year during the TF2 tournament, there was someone that was playing so good that everyone just called him a hacker. And I don't know, if you play well, you can get called a hacker.
What's been your favorite LAN party so far? Dash, you've probably been to quite a few, I guess, so I'd ask you.
It's really difficult for me to say. Caplans were always amazing. They're small, tightly packed, crazy, therefore. So yeah, I'd say they were probably my favorite.
One of the things about LAN events is that there are the main tournaments, of course, which are, StarCraft, it's a big one this year, LOL, of course, CS. But what if you want to start a tournament on a game that you want to play? How do you do that? What's the right way to do that?
Figure out the details. I mean, how many teams, what kind of game? Because again, like a game like League of Legends, you're gonna have a 5-man team or 3, depending on the type of game you play. But or other games like StarCraft 2, it's one-on-one type thing. You just need to know what kind of game you're gonna play, and then as far as the logistics, what I always find is use social media. Social media is a great way to spread the word, set up an event, and get people to commit to coming and not on Facebook. And then you have a good idea who's coming, what you're going to need. And yeah, just all depends. There's a lot of scenarios there.
Communication is definitely important. I have the most experience with Fragapalooza back home. We have an IRC channel running. We finally started up with Twitter. Talk to your head table and see if you can maybe get them to announce the tournament. Because that'll help, get someone on the loudspeaker. Hey, we have a tournament. There may be a prize. It may just be bragging rights. But I mean, communication is definitely very important.
Yeah, just find out where you can broadcast that information. A lot of times there's going to be a posting place that you can post servers and game types that you want to play. So if you want to organize something like that, go check in with the admins, and they can usually help provide a location that gets it out to everyone in the LAN party, and just do it at a time that doesn't interfere with what other people are doing, because everyone has things that they want to do at the LAN party, but there's plenty of time. It's 48 hours that you can do pub games or do small tourneys.
Well, you guys actually just touched on my question briefly. I find that these LAN parties, they're very infrequent, like once a year. They're not frequent enough. So the website that I found these LAN parties on is lanpartya.com, and they've got a forum board. And one thing that I'd really like to know is, I'm not a big fan of Facebook and Twitter, is how can I really go out and say, I want to start my own LAN party and really get a whole bunch of people together and start my own LAN party?
It's hard to avoid Facebook and Twitter these days. I'm not a super huge fan, but the nice thing is, yes, there are those type of forums available that you can advertise. If it's a local small LAN party, I think what we used to do with Fragapalooza was they'd put banners up at universities and colleges, just little advertisements and that type of stuff. That's pretty old school. But yeah, it's the Facebook and Twitter stuff's unfortunately hard to avoid these days.
I would say, as far as, I totally agree with that statement, but if you don't want to do Facebook and Twitter and you're savvy enough, build your own small, simple site. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, and there's a lot of free sites that'll help you do it easy out there, or you can do it from the ground up if you know what you're doing.
Good question. Thank you. Don't worry, nothing I'm throwing breaks.
Except for that case.
We planned ahead.
Okay, my question is, what kind of things can you do to keep people from getting bored of the game you want to play for the tournament?
That's why there's minor events going on too in between the major tournaments. I think the major ones are like SC2, LOL, CSS, CS:GO. Then there are minor ones like dodgeball, energy drinking contests, all those. And it's just basically stuff in between that keeps you entertained. And then if you want, just set up your own tournament for a game that you really enjoy. You'll be surprised at how many people will sign up, even if they don't play the game.
Okay.
Make sure that you're going out and wandering and looking at what people are playing, and find out what server they're playing on. They may be playing on online. They may have a local server set up, and join in. You're going to have way more fun playing against people in the same room in a whole bunch of games that you guys probably mostly own anyways. That you should go out and do it.
Are there any other do's and don'ts, or any more effective ways of showing your excitement at a LAN party? when you win or lose.
Don't be a dick.
Wheaton's Law, everyone.
That pretty much sums it up, but, you know, congratulate the other team. Don't just get all mad and upset. I mean, it's just like any other sport, you know. Don't just be a jerk. Congratulate the other team for winning. I mean, there are people that play better than me, you know. Just kind of admit that sometimes.
Even two hockey teams at the end of a match, they all shake hands.
With all the obnoxiously and like drunk guys, techno and stuff, have you ever like regretted going to a LAN event, or has it always ended on a high note?
The anecdotes we talk about are usually pretty extreme situations. Actually, that stuff's pretty rare, but it really depends on the administration at the event and how quickly they deal with it. So, yeah, in general, it's not something that you come to expect. So, yeah, no, I've never personally had an event get ruined by it because it's usually dealt with quickly and efficiently.
In my experience, gamers are a bit more of an independent type, right? Maybe decreasingly so with the LOL and whatnot, 5v5 and this kind of thing. And I've noticed in the LAN events that I've been to that some people still have trouble engaging with other people and making friends with other gamers, right? And that's not something that they're able to do sitting at home playing the games anyway. So and someone touched on the games like that they've got coming up here, like dodgeball, energy drink competitions, and this kind of thing. And I was wondering if, in your experience, any of you, there's been one particular event that really helped people engage with each other and just sort of made those shy people have a really, really good time.
I've also attended pretty much every PAX since 2010, so it's the same type of models. You're all here because of one common thing, and everyone comes from different social backgrounds. So you get the people that are the extroverts, and they're going to go and do their thing, and they're going to do that. If you notice someone that's like that, just simply say, hey, you want to go do this? We're going to do this. Or, hey, we're playing this game. Do you got it? If you don't got it, you know, here's a legal copy of it. That type of stuff. Yeah, just try. Basically, yeah. If you're the person that's more out there, try and just engage everyone that's around you, because we're all usually that type of problem is based on commonality, and we're all here for one common thing. We love gaming.
The easiest way to engage the socially awkward penguins is basically in between the actual major competitions. We make the minor events to appeal to everyone, because not everyone will play CSS or League of Legends. And like he said, everyone's here to game, but not on the specific games.
I would say the more games that you play at a LAN, the happier you're going to be. Because you get to play with more people. Some people like to play certain games, and if you play them all, you're going to have a lot of fun.
If I have, like, say you're doing League of Legends, StarCraft 2 tournaments, and those are finished, and I would like to, say, start a Minecraft server or start another video game and start a server, and I've got a copy of the game that I can pass out to people if they want to play, you know, to be social. You know, Minecraft is a very social game. You get to go around and be creative, and if you want to play, I can hand out the client and you can join in. Is that possible? I set up, you know, the port and people just connect to it and away they go.
As long as your network guys at the event have set that type of stuff up, yeah, you can definitely do it. Some of the bigger events will have their own server farms. You can co-locate, but if you can just run it off your machine, sure. I mean, yeah, most of that stuff's pretty open, so yeah, it's a great idea to do. Like, it gives everyone something to do in between those lulls. Not those lulls, those lulls.
All right, so if a Minecraft server was to open up, would trolling and intentional destruction of creations in Minecraft be handled by the administration, or would that just be by like the server operator and he just kick you out, or would the administration get involved?
I'd say that's on a case-by-case basis. Again, don't be a dick.
Let's move on to our next topic, which is very important. It's important at every LAN event, and we kind of touched on it. Someone asked that question earlier. Avoiding the LAN party funk. 48 hours is obviously a very long time to go without cleaning up. And of course, the gamer's funk sets in. Can the gamer's funk hinder your gaming performance enjoyment? And if you're sensitive to gamer's funk, is there a gentle way of bringing it up to your fellow gamer?
There's no way I'd actually get rid of it. I sat beside someone with the greasiest hair I've ever seen. He was sitting in one of those you know those recliner chairs that are with cloth, but his were kind of green from this sweat and stuff. Like he's been using it for a while. Just he seemed clean, but he smelled. And then we secretly sprayed Febreze on him, and he's just it just doesn't go away.
You sure that wasn't a chair?
I don't even know.
Okay.
It was a ball of moss.
I think the gentlest way I've ever broken it to a friend was like, hey, did you bring some deodorant with you? It's hard to control because if you're sitting in the same location for a number of days, it's going to start to set in. But just important things, your standard hygiene stuff: change of clothes, change of underwear, change of change a t-shirt. Try and keep yourself fresh. Bring a towel just to wipe off, that type of thing. It's fairly easy, and it's just stuff that you may forget.
Do they have showers here?
And if they have showers here, use them.
Brush your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
It makes you feel so much better, and everyone else appreciates it a lot.
Wash your hands after you use the restroom, please. And that'll help. And then without saying, other than that, I think he kind of touched on is bring a towel. There's always bathrooms or sinks or water. At least will do a little bit of help. But make sure you have the necessities to deodorant, really important. Just to put it on more than just right before you come.
Now, let's just say that you don't care about your neighbors. Is there any performance benefit to cleaning up after yourself? Can you game better by being cleaner?
If you're the dirty one, no. But if you're around him, yeah. Well, I don't. Even you smell it, you just start gagging and stuff. It's just you just do bad.
Questions from the audience.
During a match, right? What do you do if you got to take a number 2? During the match, what do you do?
You clench tightly and pray to God.
How good is your resolve?
Pre-schedule.
On the NCIX Linus video, you mentioned that you had team members that could take your place. Is this a situation where that would come in handy?
No, actually, because you can't actually replace members during the match. You can do it during halftime or something. That's probably when you want to do it. When you're number 2 is not imminent, it's gigantic. Just you get it takes 20 minutes or something. That's basically what happens for the backups. Or if he ate something bad.
Any other audience questions?
What do you do if someone has allergies to colognes and stuff like that?
How do we address that?
I would say one of the main things to do, just to be courteous to people that may have those allergies, is whatever you do put on, you don't have to put a ton of it. Yeah. Don't dump it on, and because that's going to have an opposite effect too.
Yeah, no Axe body spray, guys. Don't douse yourself. Don't bathe in cologne. Don't do the Axe body spray thing. There's not many girls at LAN parties. The Axe isn't going to have any effect anyhow. But yeah, just make sure you don't douse yourself. Just stick with deodorant. It's usually not infectious. I have a couple of friends that are that way. So, but yeah, exactly.
I'm actually severely allergic to Axe, so please don't spray it around me.
In terms of allergies, my dad actually had a severe allergic reaction to his computer. It was the silicone within the Dell laptop had actually melted or something and gone through his fan. So he had hives everywhere. Would this be a case where you could use a sub in your game?
Yes.
Do you guys have any other questions that weren't covered so far?
How can you find a team?
How can you find a team?
I need a 5th.
No, I was actually putting my hand up to be his 5th. But what do you guys do to keep yourself kind of entertain during a practice session, especially on those days that go pretty long.
Like out of LAN?
Out of LAN, yeah.
Well, basically per scrim we do, like say you scrim lasts 50 minutes, we take like a 10-minute breather. In that 10 minutes, do whatever you want. Just you basically want to keep your like mind fresh.
Turn on team kill.
Or that. Just have like a side game, because when we're doing Counter-Strike, we have like extreme bikers in online gaming or whatever. We just take time off, and it's like, hey, you know, go back to CSS, sure.
All right, let's head to our closing panel question. If there was one thing that you want everyone in this room to really get and understand from this panel, what would that one takeaway be?
Go out and have fun. Like, LAN parties are meant to be here to get everyone that sits at home and plays online games together into one place. So have fun, meet some people. They could be your friends for a long time. I've met a lot of people at LAN parties over the years, and it's important to get out there and just talk to people.
Don't be a dick.
Make sure to stop by all the sponsors' booths, because they're the ones that help put on this show. I mean, they're the ones that help partially put on the show, mostly.
That's actually a very good point. Without the sponsors this year, and especially Ivan over there from NCIX, he was an absolute dynamo. This guy was all over the place. So thank NCIX by stopping by their store and making sure that you patronize
Show them the love.
Show them some love. I've got one more question. Oh, you have one more question? Let's do one more question.
If you have a less than high quality computer, do you feel that you're at a great disadvantage compared to everybody else here with $1,500 custom computers?
One of my team members, I think that's you, Brad. You have, what is that video card in there? 9500 And he is one of our best players.
I'm in the same boat. I had, because I came in from out of province, I had to bring my work laptop, which is like a Quadro 5100M. There's still, if you're playing with a team, it might set you back. There's still games you can play as a standalone, though, too.
There's certain devices, like especially your mice or keyboards, that can definitely give an advantage. But a lot of what you're going to get in a high-end device, you'll get a little increase of frame rate here and there, but mostly it's just to make the game look nicer a lot of the times. But it does give a competitive edge. It just, I don't know. For casual gaming and most of the, unless you're getting really, really competitive, it's not going to make a huge difference. But like you said, you know, anyone can play on anything and be really great. It's just what you're used to.
Basically, there is a sweet spot you can hit. You want to have a constant 60 FPS. You don't want to stutter. Anything after that is considered luxury.
If you're playing source games, you're going to be pretty good no matter what kind of computer you have. And if you're not, just lower those graphics settings and you should be able to stay with the rest of the folks.